Yo, what's good YouTube? ZAMCRO here, aka Scoot, back with the Minimori Nation Draft League, and we've got a doubleheader here. We're going to be wrapping up the season with our week number 12 and week number 13 match, and then go over the future of the NNDL. So, first off, this is, like I said, week number 12. We just come off of a win. We're sitting at 6-5 right now. And 2 losses would put us at 6-7. 2 wins would put us at 8-5. 1 win, 1 loss would put us at 7-6. So, best case scenario is finishing 8-5. 7-6 is manageable, but then playoffs become iffy. 6-7 playoffs are really tough. Well, let's see what we can do here. Facing off against Corey, aka Munchlaxis, coach of the San Diego Snorlaxis or the Minnesota Shinx, depending on what league or how he's feeling. Shoutouts to him. Anyways, very scary squad here. Megalodios, Jolteon, Crocodile, Haunter, Kecleon, and the Infernape. We've brought a Mew, Mega Pinsir, Zeraora, Rotom-Wash, Floette, Eternal, and Skarmory. First off, I noticed he's got 3 potential Stealth Rockers in Croak, Kecleon, and the Infernape. So I wanted to lead off with something that led off pretty well versus those. And I decided to lead off with my Floette Eternal, as it matched up decent versus everything not named Haunter. However, he reveals to be very bulky, takes my Moonblast very well, knocks my item off, and then reveals to switch out here to Haunter. Predicting that, I'm going to go out into my Skarmory. I didn't expect him to click knockoff again or anything like that. He does go out into Haunter, and I'm in a decent position here. I can get my Stealth Rocks up, and an offensive Haunter can't do much to me. I can roost up here pretty much forever. And after I get back to full, I can then click Brave Bird, take a Shadow Ball, and then be out of range of the following Shadow Ball, meaning I can go right here, land this Brave Bird, and I could normally roost up from this position at 44%. However, my opponent got a special defense drop, allowing him to take out my Skarmory there. I do bring in my Mega Pinsir here to revenge kill him. He goes out immediately into his Intimidate Crook, but thanks to my Hypercutter ability, I was able to avoid being intimidated. Got some nice chip on the Crook, and a hard switch out into my Rotom-Wash here as my opponent goes for the Smackdown. So really nice play there, and then making another good prediction there, able to get the Toxic, expecting me to save my Rotom from the Earthquake. Brings in his Kecleon on my Moonblast once again, and here I'm going to reveal Wish as my opponent reveals Rock Tomb. Going to easily be able to take out my, well, not easily, but it will 2-hit KO at least my Mega Pinsir. And I'm going to get back to close to full. After toxic damage, though, I am relatively low. I'll go out to Mew here on the Rock Tomb. Not sure what his coverage is, and expecting the knockoff, I'm going to double out into my Mega Pinsir. Take nothing from the knockoff here, and then I know he's in range of Frustration. I don't expect him to be max HP, max defense, and even then, he was probably still in range. And it brings in his Jolteon here to revenge kill me. I go hard out into my Zeraora. I've played mind games earlier in the season, and I expect my opponent to have scouted on that. So I go hard into my Zeraora, click the knockoff immediately, and he reveals to be a little bit quicker, a little bit more fast-paced. I'm not sure exactly what he was speed creeping, but of course I was speed creeping Megalodios. I'm sure he was speed creeping Alolan Persian though. So he does bring in his Megalodios, goes for the Side Shock as I switch into Mew, and then he reveals Calm Mind as I'm going to reveal Roar. I don't want him to get to +1 and then drop a Draco or anything like that. However, Crocodile is dragged in, and that's really unfortunate for me. I do switch out into my Floette here, and Earthquake into Toxic does not knock me out, and he does not know how fast I am, so he opts to switch out here, going into his Infernape, which is now in range of Mega Pinsir's Quick Attack, and anything else from my squad. So he decides to go out into his Crocodile again. He's revealed to not be Scarf already, and I'm able to go ahead and knock him out with Quick Attack into Frustration. He brings in his Megalodios here at this point, and I go straight into my Mew once again. He's revealed to be Calm Mind already, and he does Calm Mind up right in front of me. Reveals the Shadow Ball as well, but I am able to roar him out, surviving the attack. However, Mew is now severely weakened and in range of anything this Infernape wants to go for, and he reveals Vacuum Wave, not wanting to preserve his Infernape. I do believe it was at 12% there, though, so he could not have preserved it anyway. Brings in his Mega Latios. I did not account for Thunderbolt on my Mega Pinsir, despite accounting for it for Skarmory, and my opponent is actually able to live the Throat Chop here. And depending on rolls here, he may or may not put me in range of the Haunter, which is definitely in range of my Rotom Wash. So it's come down to the wire here. He survives at 6% from the Stealth Rock, and he is able to get 56% damage off with the Sludge Wave, picking up a nice victory there. So it's going to be week number 12 versus Corey, aka Munchlaxus. Very good game. Come down to the wire, like I mentioned. And good luck the rest of the season, my man. So we've got one more game left, and we're going to go ahead and hop into that as well. Okay, so here we are with the second match of the doubleheader, week number 13 against Poketide 90, coach of the, it's been so long I've forgotten, Dallas Stars, maybe? Don't quote me. Anyways, he's got Alakazam, Registeel, Starmie, Thundurus Incarnate, Mega Venusaur, Arcanine, and hit a plethora of other mons as well. I cannot remember off the top of my head. However, Registeel is his only Stealth Rocker in this match, and he's got two forms of removal in Starmie and with Rapid Spin Starmie and Defog Thundurus Incarnate. So, some potent threats, but I feel like I have pretty decent answers to everything he can throw at me offensively, except maybe the Thundy. So let's go ahead and hop into it and see what's going to happen. Noting the Thundy would be problematic, I wanted to lead off with something faster than it, as well as I want to get my rocks up early. So I think I Sludge Bomb here, unfortunately, predicting my opponent a little bit too early there. And Parting Shot actually doesn't work because of the Clear Body, which is pretty cool. I figured I could still Parting Shot out and just wouldn't lower the stats. But Parting Shot has a super weird mechanic. If you've used it against a Magic Bounce user, you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm able to knock off the Arcanine's Choice Band, and it loses its item there. Predicting my Rotom Wash, he doubles into Venusaur, but I'm going to be easily able to Volt Switch out, take the knockoff, and bring in my Mew, forcing my opponent out as well. And I double out here, predicting that, as he is forced out once again from his Starmie, and predicting his Arcanine to come in. I do go ahead and pull a switch out to my Rotom Wash, and he goes for the Flare Blitz, which was extremely odd. Now I'm going to go into my Druddigon and finally get my Stealth Rocks up, as my opponent reveals the Outrage, which is really nice bring, and I get my Stealth Rocks up though. So unfortunate for him, fortunate for me, and now that he is locked in the Outrage, I can go into my Mew and just roost up. No reason not to. He is locked in. Eventually we'll be confused, and I'm in a advantageous position. I go for the Psychic, and my opponent lives but hits himself in confusion. So that was really unfortunate for my opponent. Here he goes into Starmie, and I'm going to expect him to go for the Rapid Spin, and I'm just going to attack here with the Shadow Ball and get some chip damage off on the Starmie. And I get a special defense drop, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm going to double out into my Druddigon, expecting my opponent to switch and save his Starmie, as it's very valuable versus my squad. But he does just leave it in, and I'm able to knock it out with the Sucker Punch. And my opponent brings in the Thundurus now. And what I'm going to do is go for the Dragon Tail, phase him out, as he does not knock me out with the Dark Pulse. So Druddigon's showing its bulk, and I Dragon Tail him into the Alakazam. And I've already knocked out his Starmie with Sucker Punch, so I don't expect him to let me hit him with Sucker Punch here. And I do go for the Dragon Tail, as my opponent does knock me out though. Unfortunate there, I didn't go for the Sucker Punch, but more unfortunate, my opponent reveals the Gigavolt Havoc. I did not expect Alakazam with the Z move. Fortunate for him, it did work out. I'm going to go into my Rotom, break any potential, not any potential sashes, but get some chip damage off, put him in range of Zeraora or potentially Alolan Persian. So I'm going to go into my Zeraora here, just click the Plasma Fist. My opponent has no switch in, outside of Mega Venusaur. And yeah, I'm going to switch out here. Obviously, I don't want to take any hits from Mega Venusaur. And here, I should go for the Psychium Z, as it would put my Zeraora in a really, really solid position, as my opponent stays in with the Leech Seed. Really unfortunate for me there, as I did predict my opponent to switch out there, fearing an offensive Mew. But yeah, it's not going to be the case, and my opponent's going to be able to effectively wall my squad with the combination of Registeel, Mega Venusaur, and Thunderous Incarnate. Goes for the knockoff once again, but again, I am a Z move, and he brings in his Registeel here and reveals Curse, so that was really unfortunate for me. What I'm going to do is go out to my Alolan Persian, knock off his leftovers, and predicting him to attack because I've revealed Taunt already, and now I'm going to taunt him once again so that he can't curse up any more than he already has, or rest up or anything like that. I'm going to continue to click knock here and continue to taunt him, so on and so forth. I knew I would live one more hit and be able to at least get him there at the end game, and I did get him there at the end with the taunt as he tried to curse up once more. I bring in my Rotom Wash to get a little bit of extra chip damage off, and then basically going to try to go for game with Mew and Zeraora. Otherwise, this Registeel has effectively beaten me. He's revealed Curse, and now all I need is one more Hydro Pump crit, and I'll be in an okay position. But I do not get the knockout there, and my opponent is able to rest up, and the rest of this is pretty much all stall here. If I could have got one more crit there, I guess I could have won as well. But no crits, and my opponent wins the game. Rightfully so, too. I under-prepped and expected a little bit too much of my opponent, so it put me in the back a little bit. Obviously, though, my opponent is a lot less experienced than I am, and sometimes a difference in experience and skill level and things like that can cause bad plays to be good plays and good plays to be bad plays. Yeah, I think this eats all of my hits, though. I don't think it comes down to a PP stall or anything, though. I'm trying to get all these turns in real quick. Just going to be able to knock out my... well, another thing is I was going to try to stall him out of Iron Heads, but again, was unable to do that as well. I'm going to pop off my Z move here. Cool animation there. Bounces off, and he's going to pick up a nice 3-0 victory. And that's going to be my weeks 12 and 13. We're sitting at 6 and 7, but we did make the playoffs with the 8th seed, so look out for that. Let me know what you guys thought about the prep and the plays on both sides of the field for both games. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.